Everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Her. Today, if you made money, comment below, got paid. If you lost money, comment below, learned a lesson. I mean, the stock market is absolutely insane. I closed the day out pretty much flat on my P&L. If you want to see my P&L, hit the Facebook group, hit the Discord. They're both free. And if you could do me a big favor, hit the like button for the YouTube algo. What I want to accomplish here today, I want to talk about where we are at on like the SPY levels, Q levels, looking at some options trades, some trades I'm in right now. But if you survive today, whether you're in crypto or you're in stocks, I mean, congrats. I mean, this was a rough day. I mean, for a lot of people, I mean, the stock market recovered, crypto market, not so much. I'm going to cut over here to some charts. I mean, right now, we still have Bitcoin. Bitcoin's recovering a little bit, still down 10% over the last 24 hours. We have Dogecoin down 27%. At some point, these were down 40 to 50%, especially overnight. XRP is currently down 29%, and this is at the time of the video, which is later in the day. Ethereum down 25%. I mean, people were getting clapped, and this is why it's important to have a entry strategy, an exit strategy for profit or loss. And I talk about this today on the live stream. Is you want to have reasonable targets. I know a lot of people want to have diamond hands. A lot of people, want to become millionaires overnight. But listen, you got to be very careful with the money that you have. You can't just YOLO it away. And, there are a lot of people that went in too deep because this, a 50% haircut. And now if you bought it like 6 or 7 cents on Doge or really low, you're like, oh, this is just a little dip or stuff. But a lot of people didn't. A lot of people, they bought at the top and they're now selling the bottom. Think about that for a second. You may not apply to everybody. This may not apply but I guarantee somebody out there that's watching this is they bought the top, they sold the bottom, and then when it goes back up, they're going to do the same thing over and over again. You got to get yourself out of the cycle. Now, for the stock market today, I mean, just absolute insanity. I mean, Dow actually opened up down 600. It did recover quite a bit. SPY, I mean, another violent day. This morning, it was actually below the 50-day moving average. Is at 405. Currently at 410. I mean, we had a nice spike up here. A little bit of violence in terms of the algos. The algos are just like, listen, I don't know if we should go up or we should go down or what we should do. The Fed came out saying that they may adjust policy today. If the economy continues to recover at a fast pace. That's all they said. And then we went way down, we went way up, and honestly, I was in some Netflix calls, as you can see here. I was in these Netflix calls. I was trading the 500. Now the weeklies, I probably shouldn't have been in these. Now my average cost for these weeklies, they were 70 cents, and it got dicey because these went to 79 cents, came all the way down to 52 cents, spiked up. I actually got out in here for about 85 cents, 83 cents, somewhere around here. I had 5 of them. I'm like, listen, I've had enough because this spiked all the way back up to 95 cents, came down to 55 cents. We closed at 79 cents on this. I still would have been up at close, but I didn't know which way the market was going to go. I mean, like I was trading Netflix. I didn't know what was going to happen. I still have my alert here I'm going to cancel this here. But I mean, this is the 1 minute chart. I mean, the 1 minute chart, it spiked. It was busting out. Then the news came out with the Fed, dropped down to 44. Came all the way up to 488, came all the way down. This was crazy. I mean, if you look at Facebook, same thing. Facebook was one of the stronger names today, and I'll zoom in the 5 minute chart here. I mean, same thing. I mean, was pushing up 313. Fed news came out, came all the way down to 311. People are like, oh no, we're gonna short this thing. And then what did it do? It ripped all the way up to 314.50, came back down. This is why it's like, okay, no weeklies, gonna chill, see what happens, because I mean this is insane. And if you're looking at SPY, and I'll cross over to the Qs in a second here, but SPY, I mean, we're having major gap ups, which I pointed out Friday. We have major gap ups, major gap downs. We're having a lot of price action that is very wide right now. anything could happen. We could gap down to 405 tomorrow on SPY. We could gap up to 415 too. So you want to be very careful. Right now ranges are getting a little bit more tight, but we are having super wide ranges now. I mean, you could the thing about today I saw was we were moving up, but it was just taking forever. And I was thinking, I said in the Discord, hey, we grinded all day up. All it takes is one red candle to bring us down. And I thought we were going to have that. I was like, oh man, they're going to take it down one candle, 1 5-minute candle, give up the whole day's gains. Couldn't close, but it powered through it to the highs of the day. I mean, this was crazy. I mean, SPY still closed red. Now Q's fared better. They actually closed green. But Q's, on the other hand, I mean, same violent price action we saw. We were grinding up all day. Then the Fed news came out. We didn't know what we were doing. And looking at the 1-year chart here, I mean, we're still in trouble. I mean, Q's are in big trouble. Under the 10-day moving average. 50-day moving average is currently resistance. We need to break above right now, like 327, 326 area, so we can push here, but we need a solid move to the upside. Otherwise, we're gonna have some more pain ahead. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now in the market, and you need to be careful. Like just buying the dip. Like I know in 2020, everyone's like, oh, I started trading March or May 2020. You just buy the dip, it goes up. But then the dip keeps dipping in 2021. You're like, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, sure, we are relatively high. If you look at the 1-year chart, went from 223 to 322. But in 2021, we've been having some difficulties. We've been topping out like 340, coming down here at 316. Now, I did get into JPM. As you can see, I was monitoring the JPM calls here in the bottom right. Now I'm currently in, I switched, I'm like, okay, no more weeklies. I went into the monthly, so I'm currently sitting in, where am I at? I'm in June 18th, so I'm in the monthly June contracts for JPM. I'm testing out Webull and Robinhood right now. I'm going to be doing a video comparison between Webull and Robinhood. That's why I'm trading on there. But I bought the 170 calls for June. I paid $1.18. I bought 5 of them. And we closed at the high as 126 here, not the high of the day, but we closed at the afternoon high. These actually started out at $1.40. What I'm looking at for these calls, I mean, these things took a major dump. And as you can see, I actually was thinking of buying the dip the other day when we came down to 157, and then we ripped back up to 165. So I've been eyeing JP Morgan for some time now. Is there a chance that we could rip down to 155? Absolutely, anything could happen. But I mean, JP Morgan has been relatively strong, even on some of the red days. I mean, today closed down almost 1%, but I mean, it was relatively strong here. The calls really, if you bought in the afternoon, really didn't lose any value. Everything's going pretty good for June. At least I didn't really look into the other ones that were closer. But now we're after hours, it's moving up a little bit right now. So I'm looking, these calls, these 170 calls, they were actually around 2 to 250 just a day ago. Even yesterday, before we had the major meltdown, this thing went from 165 to 158. So I did buy the dip on JP Morgan. My exit, I'm looking to get out like 163, 164, depending where we're at. So basically, if I can ride these calls up to like $1.80, $1.90, definitely would be happy. I'm not trying to take this full thing. I'm not trying to get back up to like $2 to $3 a call. But I mean, it could happen. Maybe I'll sell a few off, leave a couple on, kind of scale out that way. I want, see what happens. I mean, that worked for Snow the other day. Snow, I was trading the 245, but I was in next week expiration because this was a pre-earnings trade I did with the UVH Academy. I was in the 245 calls for next week expiration. Our cost was $1.45 each. I had 2 of them. Probably should have bought a couple more because it was so cheap, but it was pretty high risk because, I mean, essentially we bought Snow at the lows and this thing ripped back up. 220 was my price target. This thing came up to 228. Currently after hours it hit 230. So I got in around $1.45 and I started scaling out. I was totally out at like 420, 450 area, and these things did run to 750 today, 760. I mean, it's just crazy. It just kind of shows you the power of the options. I mean, it's just insane. So, I mean, I think that right now you want to be cautious. You don't want to go too far in. You want to be able to control your portfolio, control what's everything that's going on. And if you watch this video to the end, comment below, watch to the end. And as always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.